everyone, and welcome back to another Storytime video. And today I'm going to reveal something big to you guys today. And so for this video and the next, or for this Storytime video and the next Storytime video, these are going to be done with Facecam. I'm not going to record gameplay to put over these because I feel like it's better to have this face-to-face talk with you. By the way, it is not April 1st, so don't even worry about this. I'm not kidding about any of this, but it is April. So, you know what that means? Probably not, but it does mean that it is Autism Acceptance Month. With that being said, the big reveal is that I have Asperger's. Yes, that's right. I have Asperger's. Maybe some of you over the years have been able to tell that I have Asperger's, but I have Asperger's. I was diagnosed back in 2007 or 2008, back when, it was still, you could still get diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome before it became a defunct syndrome in 2014. But basically, I have high-functioning autism. And so, but nowadays it's called autism spectrum disorder. But, yeah, I mean, some people never know before I tell them. And so I guarantee you that there are people that I've worked with for several years and went to school with for several years that don't even know that I have it until I tell them. I mean, there was somebody that I grew up with that lived down the street from my grandmother's house. His grandmother lived down the street from my grandmother, and coincidentally, his parents lived down the street from my parents for a lot of my childhood. Regardless, I spent a lot of summers with him while I was growing up, and he didn't know that I had Asperger's or autism until I told him when we both attended college a few years ago. I mean, he did joke around and say that he was like, well, I didn't know that something was a little off about you. And I actually chuckled about that, but yeah, but regardless, he never knew, even though I grew up with him. And, I just haven't thought of, just revealing it to you guys and saying that, I have Asperger's, partly because it hasn't really come up to where I can talk about it. I mean, it's not something that I go around saying all the time. Usually I have to feel comfortable with you first before I even mention that I have Asperger's. And yes, I'm going to call it Asperger's until the day I die because I was diagnosed with it. I don't care if that bothers anybody. I do not care. I just don't care if it does because, you can argue with the doctor that did it like 15, well, more than 15 years ago, but still, way back then, that it's not. But, but yeah, I have Asperger's, and I, ever since finding out last July or August, somewhere in there, that April is Autism Acceptance Month, that I would talk about it in a Storytime video, because ever since I have become an adult, I've gotten a lot more comfortable with the fact that I have it, because growing up with Asperger's was really, really tough. And in the sense that people with Asperger's really struggle with they really struggle with understanding humans and body language and all this other stuff. So basically, you have to tell a person that, sorry, and let me drink some water. And so you basically have to tell somebody that has autism, hey, you saying this bothers me, or you doing this brings me a lot of happiness, or I'm feeling really tired right now. More often than not, the person with autism is not really going to pick up on that. Either that, or they're really going to struggle to pick up on that. Like, I took everything literally back when I was a kid, up until I was like 11 or 12 or 13, somewhere in that range, before I understood what sarcasm is. And to give you a perspective on the whole having difficulty with body language thing, I it even when I was in high school, I struggled to understand body language. Even as I was a teenager and getting to become an adult, I still struggled with body language. And so, as you can imagine, as a kid, it was just so much more difficult for me to understand body language and all that. And me bringing this up is not to say that, it's all negative, or nobody that has it can succeed. I mean, there are some very successful people out there that, even that are alive, that have, I think Bill Gates has autism. Elon Musk, I mean, I don't exactly like him, and it is nothing to do with jealousy or anything, because I like Bill Gates and he has autism. So, but you can be really successful and have autism. I mean, there are some advantages that I have with the autism. Like, I am able to look at patterns and charts and numbers really well. Like, I have an ability with that, to where when I was considering what I wanted to do as a career in high school, I thought about being an accountant, actually, because of my ability with numbers and being able to do everything there. And my college professor at the tech school that I went to, the first time I was in school for college, called them superpowers. He was like, oh, well, then what are your superpowers? And I absolutely loved that he called it that whenever I told him that I did indeed have Asperger's. And so, with me mentioning that I have this stuff, I want to make it okay for people to feel comfortable with the fact that they have autism, and that, just because you have autism doesn't mean you can't succeed. I mean, I graduated high school, and I graduated college, and I'm back in college. I had decided to go back to college for a second time. And I have been in the IT field for over a year and a half, and I am really excelling out in the field, in my profession. And so you can really succeed whether you have Asperger's or not, or just autism in general, or you don't. And so if you have autism, I don't necessarily want you to look up to me. I think that it's, I'm a very humble guy. So the thought of somebody looking up to me is a bit, I don't want to call it weird, but it's, I I'm I'm having a tough time finding the word, but it's, but I mean, I'm not saying look up to me as an example of somebody that can be really successful with Asperger's and autism in general, but uh, I do I would love for you to be able to look at me and go, well, this guy has been successful, and well, I guess I'm basically saying, look at me. Well, basically, look at me, be able to follow in my footsteps of success, but don't idolize me. I I am nobody's hero. I am just a guy who just tries to be the best version of himself, and I just try to work as hard as I can for what I have and for who I love. And really, I just see myself as an average guy that has been able to overcome the challenges that do come with having Asperger's. So, but I do want somebody to look at me and be able to go, well, this guy has been successful, so I can be successful. And, you know, also I'm, I'm revealing that I have it also so that I can say, hey, uh, well, to people that don't have autism or Asperger's or what have you, and that aren't on the spectrum, because yes, it is autism spectrum disorder, so I can say that. But to say to those people that don't have it, don't look at people that don't shun, or just help people that have Asperger's or autism, because I remember when I was growing up, I had a speech teacher. I went to therapy. Well, I call it therapy, but I went to see these people once a week or once a month, whatever it was, depending on where I was in my childhood. It was once a week or once a month or once bi-monthly or whatnot. But the point is I was able to get diagnosed early on to where they were, my mom, my dad, my grandmother, heck, my mom, my dad, my school that I went to, all of my grandparents were able to help me, overcome this, and I will have this for the rest of my life. I'm not trying to say that, there's a cure or whatnot, but or that if somebody that has it, then they're not going to grow out of it, but they can grow out of the point where they have to take medicine for it. Uh, Back when I was in 8th grade, I still had to take Ritalin for it, but ever since I went to high school, I haven't had to take Ritalin for this. So it's been a very long time since I've had to take medicine for this, and I've been totally fine. For the most part, I've been able to focus, which is one thing that taking the Ritalin is designed to do, is help you be focused, because sometimes it is hard for somebody that has autism to just be focused on something that they are not really exactly motivated to do. And so it's just, I hated taking Ritalin back when I was a kid, but I understand the value that it has. But so if there's somebody that or that you love that has it, that has autism, please promise me that he or she will have a good foundation around them to where they will be able to really succeed. Because, and I'm getting slightly emotional here, but this is something that with the right support around them, they can achieve great things. But it's just really hard for somebody by themselves to, be able to just understand body language and sarcasm and just be able to understand human beings and be able to focus on the task at hand that they need to do. Of course, just like a normal person, it's so much more difficult for somebody to be focused on something when they're not motivated, when they don't when it's not in their best interest. Well, let me take it back. Okay, so if you had school or video games, then it's like, which one are you going to focus on? More than likely, at least for me anyway, especially as a kid, you're going to focus on the video games. Maybe not for me so much now, but back when I was a kid, the video games, because you felt like you wanted to do the video games more than the school, so it just made it tougher to focus on and get motivated to do schoolwork and stuff. But yeah, I mean, that was a bit about growing up with autism. I mean, it certainly made it tougher for me to grow up with autism. But, I am very happy that I, am able to be in the spot that I'm now. And, I have all those people to thank for that. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional, but, I don't know where I would be in life if I didn't have that good support structure around me when I was a kid and a teenager to really help me. I probably wouldn't have, gone to college at all, and been able to basically achieve my dreams of getting into the IT field. Well, it was a dream that I established in high school, but anyway, I, yeah, that's my message to just, it was all over the place, but I don't script these things, and I do get emotional when I talk about this stuff. Not that it's difficult for me to talk about this stuff, but because I'm just so thankful for everybody and everything that has helped contributed to my success. I just can't thank those people enough. And I just try to pass that along to people that, might need it, and that's what I'm hoping that this video kind of serves to a certain extent. Sorry, yes, I am getting emotional, actually, with tears and stuff, but, I just, I mean, I could say it a bajillion times, and I wouldn't, I could say thank you a bajillion times, and it wouldn't come close to expressing how thankful I am for all those people around me. But yeah, but I have become comfortable enough to where I want to talk about it in a video, and I figure that with Autism Acceptance Month, that this month is a pretty good month to talk about it. So, I didn't think I would get emotional during this video, but it just means so much to me, man, that people like me are able to get the help that they deserve, really. Because I think it's very important. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about it, any that aren't disparaging, like if you want more details about how I was able to grow up, like growing up with autism, uh, that is definitely something that I will answer in the comments below. But you know, good luck trying to bully me, even if you want to, because trust me, I have, I feel very comfortable with who I am and what I am, and I told my college professor a few years ago, the first time I went to college, that if it, even if they had a cure for Asperger's or autism that they were able to develop at some point during my life, I would say no. I would say no, because that is part of who I am, and I'm not going to change it because I would not be who I am without it. And so I would not do that. And so I would just refuse the cure that they would have, because I'm able to live a full, comfortable life without a miracle cure. And so but yeah, I'm kind of surprised that I never came out. Well, I don't want to say come out, but that I've never revealed it in the last 11 years, that, or at least that I remember. Anyway, uh, on this channel, but I started this channel when I was a teenager, and like I alluded to, I was not exactly comfortable with this when I was a teenager yet. But it definitely took a lot for me to get to the point where I am now, and I'm gonna get emotional again. But yeah, but yeah, I have Asperger's, and yeah, I really hope that more people that kind of reveal themselves in terms of like celebrities or famous people that people can look up to. But then again, I will say that you could look up to me, and I'd be totally fine with that, because thinking about it, you could make the argument that since I'm a normal person, quote unquote well, that I'm an average person and I'm not famous or anything, you could look at me and go, well, this person is just like me more than a celebrity, to where, I can look up to them. And, I'd be totally fine with that. But it would just be like, whoa, somebody's looking up to me. As I said earlier, as a humble guy, it would throw me for a loop a little bit. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm very happy with where I am in life. And I hope to achieve greater things in my professional life, in my school life, and in my personal life. But yeah, that's all that I want to say before I get emotional again. But yeah, so autism is not bad. It is not caused by vaccines. That annoys me. It frustrates me, actually. It doesn't anger me, but it does annoy me and frustrate me, because there's just that stigma there. But I just kind of want to remove the stigma, and you know, it's nothing bad. So, because I know uh, autism diagnosis, or more and more people are getting diagnosed with uh, autism uh, each and every day. Of course, as medicine expands, and so yeah. In 2 weeks, I will talk about this more since it's still April, uh, and it'll still be Autism Acceptance Month. But yeah, I just want to end this off by saying that if you know somebody with that has Asperger's or autism, and they're doing well, tell them that they're doing well, or tell them that you're proud of them, please, for me, because they definitely deserve it. But that will do it for this storytime video. Until next storytime video, where I expand more on this, I will see you all later. Goodbye, guys! Thank you all for watching, and